are lots of other things that you have to do. Remember, you won't be sent into court immediately. Once you pass, then you will be with a senior lawyer for a period of 6 months, which is called the apprenticeship, where you go into court with a senior lawyer, sit with him, watch the proceedings, see how cases are conducted, get whatever you can from him, and then at the end of 6 months, you go before the Supreme Court, and then you take your oaths as an attorney at law. Now, once you become an attorney at law, there are a large number of avenues that are open to you. If you think that once you become an attorney at law, there will be a lot of competition, it is a very competitive field, that you may not be competitive enough to compete with those. No, that is not correct. And let me tell you one thing. All those who are seated here today, I think, have a distinct advantage above at least 65% of those who entered Sri Lanka Law College. This is something that I've been talking about. This is something that I have tried to prevent. That is, I'm sure all of you are conversant in the English language. Some of those students who join law college are very intelligent students, brilliant students, but sometimes their language skills become the greatest drawback. When you come into the profession, all law reports, proceedings in the higher courts, everything is in the English language. And that is the place where those who are educated in English, those who are conversant in English, they score a point above the others. It's rather unfortunate because 75% of those children have never had any sort of English education. They are not educated in English, they don't come from English-speaking homes. A crown prosecutor or a lawyer appearing for the state. Now that is where I come from. I joined the Attorney General's Department as an acting State Counsel, and now today I have come up to the post of Additional Solicitor General through the years. So you also can join the Attorney General's Department. If you join the Attorney General's Department, then what do? You appear for the state in all cases. You appear for the prosecution in murder cases. You appear for the prosecution in robbery cases, in rape cases. You appear for the prosecution and the state, defending the interests of the states before the courts of law of this country. Now that is an important task, that is an onerous task. If you have been given that task, then I'm sure all of you will be proud. I was proud to appear for the state and to appear on behalf of the state against those who have violated the law. In murder cases, it can be a murderer, it can be a gang robber. We go into court and we prosecute the gang robber. The gang robber is sentenced to imprisonment, then we get some sort of satisfaction because we have done our job by the state. So law enforcement is one area that depends on the legal profession. If the law is firm, if the enforcement of the law is done well, effectively, then there is peace and order in society. Unfortunately, I think all of you will agree, there are lapses in law enforcement today. As a result of those lapses, we see the law being violated in some instances. We see that there is no peace and order. So maybe someday when you join the legal profession and you come to the position where you have some sort of control over law enforcement, you might be able to do a great service to the country, to the state, as a member of the legal profession. That is where you appear and then you argue your cases on behalf of the state. Not only that, sometimes you might be able to appear in fundamental rights cases. I'll be telling you what fundamental rights cases are in a moment, but that also you do as a member of the state. Now that is not the only avenue available. That is where you join the state as a prosecutor. Have you seen young magistrates? Have you seen young judges? A magistrate is a judge. The judge of the lowest court who enforces the criminal law. Now they are also lawyers. Some of the lawyers who pass out of law college will not join as prosecutors, they will join as judges. chances of joining as judges is very remote because a limited number of judges are recruited each year. But then if you want to join the judiciary, if you want to be a judge, we have males and females as judges, and they perform their duty with a lot of authority, integrity and honesty, and they are proud of being judges. So if you want to be a judge, it is necessary that you join the legal profession, because it is only a lawyer who later is taken as a judge. Now then you get the legal profession, that is, as a prosecutor you can join the Attorney General's department. I have wonderful experiences as a prosecutor. I have prosecuted all over the country before the high courts. I've been prosecuting for over 30 years. I have prosecuted in cases where there have been brutal murders. I've seen people being sentenced to death. I've seen the law being enforced in the strictest form. I've seen gangsters who terrorize villagers are brought into court, and when they are sentenced, they faint before court sometimes. We don't get any sadistic pleasure in seeing a person falling or fainting like that, but then that shows that the law should be enforced as firmly as possible. It is only when the law is enforced as firmly as possible that you and I can go about on the streets. I'll tell you something that happened in Singapore when I went to Singapore once. I was traveling from the airport to the hotel. Then the taxi driver in which I was traveling, he was telling me things about places, showing me places, and he was telling me that I should come and visit those places. So then I was going for a conference, and I knew that I had to remain at the conference premises for long. So I just asked him whether these places will be open in the night also. He said, of course, till 10:30, 11 the places will be open. My next question was, as a foreigner, will it be safe for me to come to this place at that time? The driver was amused. He said, sir, this is Singapore. This is Singapore. Don't worry, you just come at any time. No problem. Nothing will happen to you. You are safe and secure. When I addressed a particular police seminar, I asked the Inspector General of Police, if that question was asked of you by a foreigner, can you without any hesitation tell him, I'm the Inspector General of Police, you need not worry about anything, I enforce discipline as strict as possible. You can go anywhere you want to, my country is safe and secure. Can you tell it? If you can tell that, then how proud would you be to wear that uniform? But unfortunately it is not the case, and if it is not the case, then we are to be blamed. We are to be blamed because the law is not enforced firmly, the law is not enforced strictly. And if it is done, then we can bring our country to the same position, and we can proudly tell anyone, any foreigner who comes to this country, this is my country, it is Sri Lanka, you can walk about the place without any fear. Now then, that is about the official bar, that is about the judiciary. In order to become a member of the official bar or the judiciary, I told you, you have to be a lawyer. Remember, defending a person is also an honorable job. A person might come and tell you, sir, I'm innocent, I never did it. I've been falsely implicated. The evidence that person is giving is false. There's nothing that I can do. All that I can say is, I am innocent. What can you do for me? If you can take up that person's case, if you can go before court and if you can appear for him, and if you can demonstrate before court that that person is an innocent person, and if the court decides that he is innocent and he is exonerated, the pleasure that you get cannot be measured in terms of money, I can give you that assurance. So there is a duty that you can do even as a member of the unofficial bar. Appearing for people, appearing for deserving people. People who deserve some sort of support. Now this young lady here, let's see, she's a lawyer. A young woman comes to you and tells you, Madam, I'm harassed. My husband harasses me. I'm tortured. I have no one. Is there anything that you can do for me and for my poor children? If you can say, yes, I take up your case. You go before court, place the facts as effectively as possible, and argue that case on behalf of that innocent lady. Then at the end of it, if she gets relief and she falls before your feet and then says, Madam, if not for you, I would have committed suicide, how much pleasure you would have got. Let me assure you, there are a large number of lady lawyers who do that type of work and who derive a lot of pleasure out of it. There is an organization called WIN, W-I-N, WIN. What does it mean? W-I-N, WIN. Women in Need. The lawyers' organization is called Women in Need. And this organization these lawyers appears on behalf of women. Their rights of children. So you can always join an organization like that and then do a lot of social service if you think that you ought to appear on behalf of such people. Now supposing that lady comes and then tells you, Madam, this is my case, and you say, okay, I will appear for you, but my fee is 50,000 rupees. I mean, very modest when I said 50,000 rupees. That is something that lawyers charge for a particular day sometimes. Right? Then that is not what is expected of you as a lawyer. That is not what is expected of you as a lawyer, because you need, money will come, there is no doubt about it. You can always earn money. Some of your parents might be lawyers. You can go home and tell them that I said this. But not only earning, but there is a duty that you can do by the people in order to see that their griefs, their problems are answered. You can feel for them. There is an institution called the Legal Aid Scheme. The Legal Aid Scheme has lawyers who appear for people who do not have money. Unfortunately, the Legal Aid Scheme is not very strong in this country, but in other countries it is very strong. It's government sponsored. And in Sri Lanka it's not government sponsored, but we are trying very hard to get sponsorship and to have this Legal Aid Scheme for people who cannot enforce their rights simply because they do not have the money. If he goes to a lawyer and the lawyer says you have a good case, I have no doubt about it, but then you can't charge money, you have to pay my fees, then that poor man will say, oh, if it is the case, then I cannot pursue this matter anymore. We must see that that does not happen in this country. So we need a large number of lawyers who feel for people, who feel for their rights, who are ready to appear for those people who cannot enforce their legal rights just because they do not have legal support. So you can join the Legal Aid Scheme. It's a big social service. In addition to your normal duties, you can also appear for a deserving case free of charge, I can tell you hundreds of such cases where people have simply suffered and not gone before the law because they could not afford the fees of attorneys at law. Now, let me tell you something about fees of attorneys at law also. When you appear in court, you can charge your fees. I see some familiar faces here, right? You charge your fees. You can ask them how much they charge. You can charge your fees for one day, or you can charge your fees for the whole case. Whether you win the case or lose the case, the fee is the same. You don't go into court unless your fees are paid. So sometimes that man may have paid you 500,000 rupees and lost the case also. He may have paid you 100,000 rupees and he may have been sentenced to death. That's a different question. Fees are not reduced, but in the United States of America, it's a different case. Sometimes in the United States of America, you can appear and then for a particular case maybe to get some compensation, and you can tell your client, right, I don't need any fees now, but once I win the case, you must give 50% of the compensation you get. You must give me. That in this country you can't do that. It is illegal. We follow the British system, And the British do not encourage that. You charge your fees before the case, and you appear for the case. Whether you win or lose, it's a different matter. Now, I was talking to you about the civil side, about the criminal side. But then you get the civil side also. That is where you appear for a person in order to get compensation. There has been a motor traffic accident, and at the motor traffic accident, the breadwinner of the family has died. And then the poor members of the family are destitute. There's nothing that they can do. The father dies. 3 children